All right, welcome back to our Food City kitchen here where Chef JJ is making all kinds of festive treats for the holidays. You guys have covered a lot of ground. I love the new take on the sausage ball. That is just very clever.
Oh yeah, it's always fun too, and it gets those, those flavors you recognize. When Christmas rolls around, we all get a little nostalgic.
Yes.
We're thinking back to Grandma's house and Mama's house and all the flavors we had when we were little. So I like to take those and just kind of twist them around a little bit.
Yeah, have some fun with them. And
Yeah.
one of the big trends, of course, we talked about it earlier, the charcuterie board. Everything's on a board, JJ. It just elevates
Boarded
that party.
up.
Yes, exactly. And you've got some great ideas here.
Yeah, when I first saw the butter board trend, I was like, I don't know if I like that or not. A bunch of fingers running around butter and stuff like that. And I was thinking, but there's some merit to what they're doing. It can really transform your dinner roll service at your parties and stuff, if it's done in the correct way.
Okay.
And I really like the idea of having those butters. And we have some great butters. They're in the food service Baker Deli area. We've got some better butters. They come in little packs like this one right here. And, those are all different flavors. And what I did is I took those butters and I heated them up for literally like 6 to 8 seconds, just enough to make them malleable. And I dipped them out and I put them on the board. So I've got 3 kinds of butters. A steakhouse butter, which I made a little more steakhouse by adding some caramelized onions and mushrooms to it.
Oh, you
So
did.
I really steakhoused it. And then
Oh,
we've
that
got an
looks so
Asiago
wonderful.
Parmesan, and then we've got a chives. So we've got some really nice butters that we serve, and I put those on the board, and I put a rolls around it, so now people can help themselves, and it really makes that roll service more special.
And I mean, the butter is like your centerpiece.
Yeah.
And over here, I love this idea to just add a few little things. Oh, that sounds amazing. And then over here, you've taken it with your banana bread.
Yeah, we have our banana bread. I love that. It's fresh. You'll see it sometimes in your produce department and as well in your Baker Deli area. And it was a honey butter. So I just basically made the honey butter where it was loose by heating it up just for a few seconds. And then now it's a smear. And we can smear it on our banana bread. It's really a lovely, lovely kind of almost desserty item you can have at your party. And you take it out of the pack. No one knows you didn't make that.
Yeah, because you've got the fancy butter to go along with it. And when it comes to butter, I love a good soft, nothing is worse than when you've got that cold butter out of the fridge and you're trying to spread it and it's just not working.
Absolutely. It's so hard. It tears your bread, tears everything up. So I like to soften it up just a little bit.
Oh my goodness, these are wonderful. Okay, tell me about the fun things that you have done to these little fruits.
Well, I'll tell you what was fun is I took the maraschino cherries with the stems. And what I did is I actually drained out the cherry juice. Now, I saved that for Shirley Temples.
Okay.
And I put some of these cinnamon imperials in some water. I boiled them down until they dissolved. And I made cinnamon water. And I poured it back into the jar, let it sit overnight. So you've got these little cherry bombs. And non-alcoholic version, Of course, you want an alcoholic version.
You could do.
Yeah, you could, a little fireball or something. And you can put those in there, a little Christmas spirit. But those are just fantastic. You get it, and it really surprises you. You're thinking cherry. Nope, not at all. Cinnamon.
That's cinnamon, and it's wonderful together. You were kind of letting us sample that, and boy, that was a big hit.
Yeah.
Okay, and tell me about these. Are just so adorable.
Yeah, we did. In the spring we always dip the strawberries. So this is just taking some great grapes, some seedless grapes that we have in our produce department, and washed them, dried them real good, and I just dipped them in the white chocolate. And you get the almond bark, you can get the produce. They actually sell little tubs you can heat up with instructions. You dip them in. You can get crazy with it. You can take nonpareils, sprinkles, edible glitter, nuts. I mean, you can really have fun. And it's so refreshing. It's very light, and it's kind of a neat little take on that.
And it's pretty. The presentation here, A+ as always, and everything is delicious. Studio audience, what do you think? Did he just knock it out of the park? We're loving this. We're loving this. Chef JJ, thank you so much. Some fantastic ideas. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.